Meanwhile, in England, player wages has been very much a big talking point over the last 48 hours. So much so, in fact, the health minister, Matt Hancock, was asked about it, and he suggested it would be good for players to donate some of their salary to hospices, which have been struggling of late. Julien and Craig Burley with me. Jules, the reason this is causing such a stir is the fact that players seem to be quite happy to take a pay cut. It's where that money goes. That seems to be the big issue.
Exactly, Dan. This is at the heart of all the conversations, the discussions that players have had either with the club or with the PFS, which is the union for the players, and also with the Premier League. Every meeting is the same. The players are obviously fine, and they know they want to have pay cuts to be able to relocate that money somewhere, but they want to know what exactly where that money goes, what it's used for, because what they don't want, for example, is that their clubs cut their wages and then those cuts become more dividends for their owners, who are already, for most of them, really rich and very profitable. So that's the issue right now. The players have no problem, or at least the one I've spoken to, have no problems at all about doing their bit, and they even want to as soon as possible. But it's all about where that money goes. And maybe we'll end up in a situation where individually the players will give whatever they want to charities, to hospices, to hospitals, to the NHS or whatever, on another part, different part than what the club want to do, because at the moment they can't find any sort of agreement either.
Craig, as a former player, how would you feel in this situation?
I don't think many, if any, would have an issue and do have an issue, Dan, taking a decrease in wages when staff members at their football club and other football clubs are having to take pay cuts or indeed go and leave of absence. I don't think there is an issue with that. But I've got a huge issue with a lot of the people out there pontificating about footballers in particular being the focal point of this debate. Just because these young men are high earners, most of them come from non-privileged backgrounds, have earned the right to be earning that money. Whether you and I agree about the amount of money these days is immaterial. It's the market forces that dictate what players are paid. And quite frankly, I think footballers in general have become, and the football industry has become, an easy target of, well, you know, let's take the money off them because they're earning X, Y, and Z, and let's give it to this person and that person. Yes, the money should go to make sure the people at their businesses are not losing out and their families are affected. Yes, the money should probably go to charities, NHS, hospitals, if they can, and filter it that way, as long as they know where it's going. But how many politicians are putting their hands up to say, I'll take a pay cut? How many bankers are putting their hands up to say, I'll take a pay cut? How many property developers, stockbrokers, multi-millionaires and billionaires, how many are putting their hands up? Or how many are people saying, well, these should take pay cuts as well? But no, the easy target is the footballers. And yes, maybe they have been a little bit slow to make a statement and make some decisions. But I would be surprised if there are any well-paid football players at clubs who want to sit back and watch other people, other employees of the people that they work for, go and struggle and see their family struggle. I just don't see that as being a realistic finger to point at them. And I think it's been a really easy target, Dan, for a lot of people in the public eye to say, look at these greedy footballers, they're not doing enough.
So, Jules, how is this all going to end with the players and the clubs?
It's a good question, Dan. I think at some point they will have to make a decision whether the players want to go individually by themselves and decide what to do with their own money. They can make individual donations to whoever they want. They can decide to take a pay cut, but don't give that money back to their club if they're not convinced or sure of what those clubs are going to do with that money, to avoid, as we've been saying, that money going back to dividends to the rich owners, for example, and that the money goes to the right place. It will all depend. What I think we will be not seeing very soon now, and we saw it already with Liverpool deciding today to reverse the decision to go on that furlough scheme, because clearly the outrage was so big, and I've got no sympathy for them because I don't get the whole thing. Oh, but they listened to their fans and they changed their mind. They shouldn't have gone there in the first place anyway. But I think we won't see many other Premier League clubs right now decided to go on that furlough scheme and instead trying to find an agreement with their own players to decide what to do with that money that those wage cuts they could get to make best use of that money going to the NHS, to the hospitals, hospices, charities, whatever. But I think Liverpool made the right choice, and I can expect more Premier League clubs to not go on that furlough scheme, but instead find a direct agreement with their own players to be able to use that money wisely.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.